So I think you do have it right, and I think it would be a bit reductive to look at it as a game or a sports competition, but it is. We're competing against China with two very different visions of how the 21st century should evolve. And China has done a lot of immoral things with human rights, both domestically and abroad. But it's nothing unethical for them to advantage their own industry and
Yeah, of
outcompete
course.
the West. They've done that well, and we should applaud them and learn a lesson. We have to learn a lesson that it is okay and good to favor your own domestic economy and your own domestic workers over an abstract global well-being. From what we have seen, what we've seen on domestically with the Biden presidency is actually very much a continuation of the Trump presidency in ideology, if not in form. It's very much when America first, we need to revitalize our industries and create things with American workers and American factories. The Inflation Reduction Act is part of a threefold of legislation, including the CHIPS Act, which focuses on semiconductors, and the Infrastructure and Investments and Job Act, collectively about $2 trillion worth of investment. So what IRA in particular does, we can describe it as 370 billion for clean tech investment. That's actually an understatement that the Democrats were very clever in pulling. Because their tax credits is actually going to be much higher than 370 billion. It's definitely going to be 200. It's going to be half a trillion at least. Goldman Sachs has estimated it might go as high as $1 trillion. So the sum of money in play is enormous. What it does is it provides tax credits, either an investment tax credit or a production tax credit, and that covers the cost in part of a very wide range of clean tech assets, from solar panels, inverters, turbines, electrolyzers. It's a very substantial list. That's part of it, if they're produced domestically. The other end of it is the same, covering a huge cost of building those factories to manufacture in the first place, again, domestically. These can be matched by state incentives, which are compounding. So you could invest, say, build $2 billion factory they're building in Michigan now for electrolyzers. Over half of those costs are covered by either IRA in combination with state subsidies. So to make an investment now, your costs of doing so are tremendous. It's also locked in for 10 years. So you have great certainty that until 2033, if you're signed up for it, you have that financial incentive. On the other end, it also affects demand side measures greatly. It says if you want to buy a variety of clean tech products, namely say an EV, we'll give you a huge tax credit to do so. So to buy an EV that qualifies, you can get up to $7,500 from the government. But it comes with conditions. And this is where IRA really changes the game from previous European particular strategies. One, half of the credit is made up of making sure that car is assembled in the US. So that means American jobs, American factories, etc. The more exciting part that it's doing as well is it's saying the value of the critical minerals has to be limited by how much of it comes from adversarial nations, namely China. So right now it's about 45% can come from China to qualify. And then after 25, every 10 years, every year, it drops by 10%. So by the end of the decade, none of the critical mineral value can come from China or other adversarial nations like Iran, North Korea, Russia, etc. So this sends a really strong signal where, okay, if we want to take advantage of these very substantial credits, we need to have facilities here in the US that can process, extract, and refine critical minerals that can go into these batteries so we can take advantage of the credits. Right. And the scale of money we're talking about tips the calculus from saying, well, China will give us cheaper power and labor, and weak labor laws. The US will give us quite a bit of money and we can continue to invest in a domestic economy in a market that we trust and want to support.